Did you know that a lot of digestive issues are caused by a potential toxin that's in all of the quote healthy foods that scientists have been telling us to eat with a fraudulent food pyramid for the longest time? Warning signs include weight gain and fatigue, digestive discomfort and stiff joints, even skin problems. Well, Dr. Gundry, a world-renowned cardiologist, explains these side effects are often mistaken for normal signs of aging because digestive issues develop usually over a matter of years and sometimes even decades. He says the damage is probably caused by these health foods and it's far from normal. The good news is you can easily help fix the problem from your own home. It's very simple. You just have to know which foods are actually healthy and which contain this hidden potential toxin. So you can go find this yourself at gutcleanseprotocol.com/inspired, because after years of research, Dr. Gundry has decided to release an informative video to the public, free and uninterrupted, showcasing exactly which foods you need to avoid. Go find that video at gutcleanseprotocol.com/inspired or click on the link in the video description below.
Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. How's it going? John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Inspired live stream. Actually, just so you know, got some good coffee here. Hope you do too. Let's kick back. Let's do this together, my friends. As we're kind of moving through some very triggering and rough waters over these, through these times here. So I encourage you to tune in with your heart, put your hand on your heart, breathe into that space and bring that awareness. Not because I claim to have the truth, simply because I want you to feel and, use that intuition as a guidance system. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. That's been the mantra for years now. And some people have told me they've been using that mantra and it's created some beautiful abundance and beautiful health in their lives, which is wonderful. Welcome, VB, Linda, good to see you. Cliff, Reese, Johnny, Brenda, Jerome, good to see you all. Welcome. All righty, so let's dive into the subject of the day: fake wars, real suffering, the illusion, the puppet masters, the hidden hand. I'm gonna say this. I haven't really talked about this situation currently that's unfolding in the Middle East very much. I've been observing, I've been sitting back, I've been kind of looking at not just what's reported, but also how the reactions are. And I will say this, on the part of the puppet masters, of which some are still left, right? It was a brilliant move. Much better than another health scare. They really did well in pulling out a program that they have installed over many decades and centuries and pushing the button at the right time. Because what surprised me was not the mainstream's parroting. It was not the speaking as one voice. It was not that. What surprised me was the absolutely programmed reaction within many of this quote unquote awakening community. It is as if none of what had happened before mattered. Now, all of a sudden, what we're seeing, what we're being presented with, we simply accept hook, line, and sinker. Let's raise the Israeli flag. This is a program. The truth is that a campaign was unleashed on the world at a time that it was needed to be unleashed on the world. Ukraine simply didn't work anymore, and it serves a very different purpose. The two are actually connected, of course. What appears on the surface is that these conflicts are real and they're spanning whole regions of the world. They're spanning countries and continents and religions and cultures. They're spanning over all these different fields. But in the background, a hidden hand is puppeteering this. And this hidden hand has no particular interest in any of these cultures or religions. It only appears that way. It only appears that way that they want certain people to win and others not. They always win as long as we participate in the game of. And what do I mean by fake war? Casualties are real, suffering is real, but see, war really only happens, real war only happens in a highly localized regional, when a highly localized regional conflict starts to expand, right? And this usually comes from a feud between clans, right? That often happens when there's a feud between clans, and then you kill one of theirs, they kill two of yours, and then so forth and so forth. And that is literally how a war can happen in a regional localized setting. But then once the war expands way further, that is the hidden hand aligning with certain interests and supporting one side, usually supporting both sides. And this is something that people don't understand. The people that are selling you this particular brand of the war machine, if you will, the current one, Israel, Palestine, the people that are running this are invested in both sides. They always have. They're supporting both sides. They're building up both sides. They have built up the whole system. Because at some point in some other conflicts, believe it or not, the people who are now raising the Israeli flag have sided with the people that are now part of Hamas or part of any other terrorist organization or political party that is opposing the other side. And they have supported them with money, with weapons, because they needed them in a different conflict to play a different role. Now, there's this other side of things that specifically plays into their hands, which is, of course, prophecy and the Bible and Scripture. And that is why so many people are completely hypnotic in their reactions and cannot use their true faculties to actually look at the realities of this, because they say, what we're seeing here is prophecy being played out. Well, yeah, let's say that again. That's prophecy being played out. Have you considered ever that secret societies that have been around forever have been set up to do exactly that, to manipulate world events in a way that it plays out prophecy from the Bible so that it appears to the Christians, or in other religions, to the Jews or the Muslims, that it appears to them that their prophecy is now being played out and their God is in control. Has it ever occurred to you that that actually might be what is happening? Because I know of quite a few secret societies that they're only there for that specific purpose, to bring about world events and conflicts and situations that mimic the blueprint from the Bible. Sorry, but I know this to be a truth. I'm not even suggesting this is a possibility. I know it to be a truth. Now, whether it is the truth or the whole truth, I can't tell you, because I'm not part of all these circles. But what I can tell you is that since time immemorial, this blueprint has happened. Nothing is more powerful to pull a believer into the illusion than to tell them what will happen through books, religious texts, and scriptures, right? And then it happens, because what does that do to the believer? It confirms their belief even more, and it confirms what they believe about that, what they think about that, what they've learned about that. And the only way they can fathom this is possible is by God's hand is in this, and God is steering these events. I do not believe that. Not in the direct sense, at any rate. And I don't believe that the God of this world here, sure, that God of this world is most definitely involved in this, but our real prime creator, no, I don't believe that. A real prime creator is involved only through us and through how we apply ourselves to these conflicts or non-conflicts. But what we have seen play out between Russia and Ukraine and the rest of the world, by the way, which is already World War III. Let's not kid ourselves. We've been in World War III for a long time in many ways. It's cyber, it's health, it's food, it's weather, it's most of all perception. The war is really for our minds and our consciousness. It's kinetic, which means if they need tanks and bombs, they'll use tanks and bombs. If they need lasers, they'll need lasers. If they need fires, they'll use fires. And if they need floods, they'll use floods. If we can look beyond the game, we will realize that we're all being manipulated. There is a box for every believer. So if you're so far out of the mainstream box, no problem. They'll give you an alternative box that looks like it's independent, looks like it's sovereign thinking, looks like it's free thinking, but it still has a box. They still put a flag on it. They still put a label on it because they want to control your perception through this. Now, the only way that this particular situation can be resolved is, once again, consciousness. But what I mean is consciousness in action. What does that mean? It's for the mothers and the grandmothers to call on their sons and grandsons and bring them back and say, no more. You are not going into these battlefields. You're not going into these battles that are not your battles. They are not our battle. Because those who perpetually prime the battlefield, they never send their sons. They never send their grandsons. Those people stay out of it. They want us to fight each other. And only the grandmothers and the mothers have the authority. They gave that life to actually call all their sons and grandsons back and say, no more. If a battle comes to your door, well, you got to fight it when it comes naturally. But this battle is not at our door. And this battle is actually, what is happening between these people, or peoples, if you will, and it's happening in many places of the earth. It will probably ebb and flow with time, because these conflicts have been there for so long, and they have been perpetuated for so long. But even there, I believe if we can create a greater field of love and real peace, it would translate into it. And if the people were finally willing to look for more reasons to unite rather than divide, we could finally stop this and realize we are fighting one aggressor, one enemy that is manipulating us every day. And he calls, or this aggressor calls the wars whatever it needs to call them. Sometimes calls them BLM, sometimes trans, sometimes woke, sometimes Ukraine, sometimes Israel. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the name of the game is. It's still a game. And in all of it, they will find something that will trigger you. They'll find something that will trigger you. They'll find something that will trigger me, and they'll hope they will jump on board finally support their cause. And what is their cause? What is this all for? To set us in this ultimate trap and keep us in it. It's the trap of believing this is real. This is all real, when it's not. It's a game. It's a matrix. It's literally a matrix. And they're creating these distractions and operations, and the suffering is real. The suffering is real. But what is shown to the people as the cause, as the root, is not real. It's all smoke and mirrors. And the idea is that we will finally give in, that we will finally give up what little of perceived freedom to think and speak we have, and finally say, this isn't working. Please save us. Please save us. AI, please come in. Please take over. Please rule over us. You will bring eternal peace. And in this game, when it will reveal itself, and it does more and more every day, by the way, if you have invested all of your energy, all of your belief, all of your attention into one person or one group of people that you believe are the solution, you will fall, and you will fall hard. Because when all of this, as it does now, reveals itself, you will see that those whom you thought were really, really good were not good at all. They were just part of the same game. I'm not saying there isn't some good people out there, but it's rarely the ones that seem that way. Very, very seldom. It's the end game. See, and when you come to the end game of any simulation, any video game, whatever, well, the last level is the toughest, and the last enemy is the toughest, right? Because you're now at the master stage, and that's where we're in. So these smoke and mirror situations, they're gonna increase. And there's only one way to navigate this, and it is not by doing better research at this point. It's Sure, you can get to the to the core of the deception if you do more research, sure, but to get to the real core of deception, you actually have to tune in. And I will continue to repeat this. We have to reconnect with our spirit and reignite it and apply it fully to our lives, because that is our superpower. You're looking for the kryptonite, it's literally there within you. I have been exposed a few times in my life to fully self-actualized people or fully activated people. When they walk into a room or you walk into their field of presence, it is so undeniable. It is so strong. It is so grand. It is so pure. And the real human beings, not all of these meat suits out there are real human beings. I'm sorry. Once again, I don't mean it in a derogatory way. They simply aren't. If there is no spirit, it's not real. The spirit is what's real, not the meat suit. They can create meat suits. But those who have it and activate it, you become a superhero compared to what we are now. And we can activate that. We can and we must, because that is the end of the game. And the thing is, the shockers will just keep on coming. We saw this Middle East thing come from a mile away, not because we're prophets, but because we were watching the ramp up of these organizations in the last few months, at least since June or May. Everything in the surrounding area, all the countries surrounding Israel, the terrorist groups, movements, the arming, the showing of force, the border conflicts. It was, the writing was on the wall. We just didn't know whether it was going to originate in Iran, in Iraq, or Israel. We didn't know where exactly, but the region was cooking, and it was cooking for a reason. And I'm going to read you something that should tell you everything you need to know about this conflict. And then you tell me whether it's real or not. Real in the sense that this is actually, listen to this. This is a breaking news alert. Israel agrees to delay ground invasion of Gaza so the Pentagon can move air defense to the region, according to the Wall Street Journal. Let me ask you one thing. If you are in a real war, in a real conflict, would you put that out? Would you put that on the news and say, hey, well, just so you know, we're going to hold off with this invasion until our buddies over there in DC can send over the air defense systems and move it over here? Would you lay out the game plan to the enemy? Who does that? Who does that? Remember a few weeks back, or maybe it was 10 days ago, when it was announced that there was a Navy SEALs team, they were going to go in and free hostages. Why would you announce that? What does that tell you about the nature of this conflict? In a real war, you do not tell the enemy what you're going to do. As a matter of fact, you confuse the hell out of the enemy. You don't project what you're going to do. So think about these things and think about what that actually means. The problem is that real people are suffering, and that people all over the world are now being drawn into this, just like with the Ukraine, and they're being pulled in, and sides need to be taken. Whenever you choose a side, 99% of the time you're going to be losing, because the people running this show, they support both sides. We need to unite the people, and unite as the greatest alliance in human history for only one thing: freedom. Not for which God, not for which religion, for which culture, just for one thing: for freedom. Freedom for self-determination. I'm going to live the way I see fit, and as long as I don't harm anyone in the process, leave me alone, and I'm going to leave you alone. And if you think that we can just meditate our way out of this or bomb our way out of this, both won't work. We have to actually bring practical spirituality to these things and to these conflicts. and encourage our brothers and sisters in the armed forces, encourage our brothers and sisters that might be generals or might be even higher up in the food chain, encourage them to reconsider participating in this. Reconsider it. And encourage them to take a step back. Encourage every mother and every grandmother. They have great influence. Every mother and every grandmother to take the side of peace, call up their sons, call up their daughters that are in uniform and ask them, do you really want to participate in another world slaughtering event that will kill us all and will simply fulfills the dark, wet dream of some very, very dark forces out there? Really, is that really what we want? This, I'm either speaking from spirit to spirit, and we can explore the truth, or I'm pissing off pretty much everybody over the last few days, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or a New Ager. I just want us to look through the illusion that we are pure spirit when we choose to connect with that. And when we connect with that, we don't have a religion anymore. We don't have a human identity anymore. We are divinely created beings. That's what we need to connect with now, because the whole aim is to keep us bombarded with this fear energy and this worry energy, and just no matter what it is, whether it's woke or whether it's war or whether it's COVID or whatever it is, just invest your fear. That's all they're asking you to do. Just invest your fear, because they need it. They feed off of it. And so when we rise above it, really, that is the key point, man. We can move beyond all the fake wars, the fake news, the fake conflicts, the fake bullshit. It's all a game. It's all a charade. And the minute that we realize that we are on a field, just like a soccer field or a football field, and the minute we realize that we step off the field, we withdraw our energy from this participation. And then we have to recreate something, or I would venture, I'm going out on a limb here and say that we're actually going to see what lies beyond all this bullshit. You are pure beauty. In your essence, you're pure beauty. You're pure love. You're pure joy. You're pure creation. That's how you were created. That's where you come from. I just want us to step into that unconditionally and make that the most important thing of our lives. Because if we can't win that way, we won't win at all, ever. That's the only way we can really win. To become again what we truly are. And I think you can literally walk through a minefield, flying bullets, when you're in that space. That's the task of the day for me. I could go into the analytics of this war, of the history of the conflict a little bit, but there are so many people already doing that. I think we kind of have to move beyond this and see that all the real human spirits in the world need to unite right now. That's just what needs to happen. We take over this show. We win this whole bullshit war. Let's see how good this can get. All right, my friends. Much love. Many blessings. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back with you again very, very soon.